In a world that feels so chaotic and just confusing, it's easy to feel a little lost. So, where do we find our anchor? Well, today we're going to dive into the timeless wisdom of Hazrat Ali. It's this incredible collection of sayings that basically offer a roadmap for living a more meaningful life. So, let's get into it.
We've all been there, right? You're scrolling through all this noise, you're feeling pulled in a million different directions, and you're left with this one big question. How do we actually find clarity? In a world that's constantly changing, where do we find that solid ground? And that's exactly what we're going to explore. We're going to reach back through the centuries to look at some guidance that hasn't just survived, it's actually become more relevant than ever.
So where do we start this journey? Well, we start with the most powerful and maybe the most dangerous tool we all have, our words. This wisdom teaches us to see our speech as this incredible force that can either build people up or tear them down. And think about it, in our age of instant comments and permanent digital footprints, this is more important than ever.
I mean, just think about this metaphor for a second. We all instinctively protect our valuables, right? Our gold, our silver. This saying challenges us to treat our words with that exact same level of care. And why? Because their value and their potential to do harm is absolutely immeasurable.
Okay, this comparison is intense. It's designed to be shocking, to really make us stop and think. The idea here is that a direct insult isn't just some fleeting moment of rudeness. No, it's a deep violation of a person's dignity. It's like an attack on their very soul.
And this image, wow, it really paints a picture of the long-term consequences, doesn't it? A thoughtless joke, something you say for a quick laugh and then you completely forget about it, it doesn't just disappear. This teaching warns us that that kind of carelessness has real spiritual weight that can follow us, like a lingering sting long after the moment is gone.
So, the big takeaway here is pretty clear. Physical wounds can heal, but the wounds we inflict with our words can leave scars on a person's spirit. So mastering our speech, that becomes the first crucial step to living a better, more enlightened life.
All right, so from the words we speak, we're now going to turn inward. This next section is all about the idea that our true wealth isn't what we have, it's about the character we build.
This is such a powerful insight. We always think that success and power change people, but this wisdom says something totally different. It suggests it just reveals who they were all along. It's like the ultimate test of someone's true character.
So if things like power and wealth can unmask our pride, how do we fight back against it? Well, here we have a super clear, actionable path. It starts with self-awareness, just acknowledging your own pride. Then it moves to a concrete action, an act of genuine humility. And the end goal? Breaking free from the chains of your own ego.
And check this out. These are like the pillars for finding inner peace. And notice the shift in focus here. You're told to look inside for your own faults, but to look outward for the goodness in other people. It's such a simple change in perspective, but it has the power to change everything. In that last point, it makes this incredible link between our spiritual health and our physical health. And this really is the core idea of this whole section. Everything on the outside, it's temporary. Physical beauty, strength, it all fades away. So what actually lasts? The only thing that has eternal value is the quality of your character. Okay, so we've worked on our inner character. Now we're turning our attention back to the outside world, and specifically to our relationships. This part explores just how important the company we keep is and how you can tell a true friend from a false one.
This right here, this is the ultimate test of a true friendship. I mean, it's easy for someone to be nice to your face, but the real question is, who has your back when you're not even in the room? That person, this wisdom tells us, is an absolute treasure.
This really draws a line in the sand, doesn't it? Someone who bails on you when things get tough wasn't just a bad friend. They were actually never your friend to begin with. But a true friend? They have this amazing ability to bring a little bit of light into your darkest times.
And this final warning is so powerful. Some relationships, some people, they can seem really attractive, even dazzling, from a distance. But this analogy forces us to look past the shiny surface and see the potential danger. A sword is beautiful to look at, sure, but its very nature is to wound.
All right, for our final section, we are heading straight into life's inevitable storms. How do we deal with hardship, with uncertainty, with all the things that are completely out of our control? This is all about finding strength when you feel like you have nothing left.
Now, to really get the wisdom that's coming up, you have to understand this one core concept: tawakkul. And it's more than just hope. It's this deep, unshakable faith that even when you're in the middle of a storm, There's a divine plan that's unfolding exactly as it should.
And this is just such a beautiful way to understand that concept. Think about it. Birds don't hoard food or sit around worrying about tomorrow. They trust that they'll be provided for. They do the work they need to do for the day, and then they rest in that trust. It's a profound lesson from nature about letting go of our anxiety about the future.
So this totally reframes how we look at hardship. It's not meant to be a punishment, it's a process of elevation. It's a promotion. As you can see, the difficulty is the test, the patience and faith is the work you have to do, and the reward is being raised to a higher spiritual station.
And as we're navigating all these challenges, here's a crucial reminder. We all prepare for the big, life-changing challenges, the mountains. But so often, it's the small, tiny things we overlook that actually cause us to fall. A minor bad habit, a tiny character flaw, a careless word. This wisdom is telling us to pay attention to the little stones on our path.
So after all of this, guarding our words, building our character, navigating adversity, what's the ultimate tool? What's the one practice that can shield us from the inevitable pain and heartache of life?
And the answer is just so simple and so profound. It suggests that by connecting with a higher power, by really pouring our hearts out in sincere prayer, we can find a peace that goes beyond our circumstances. We basically process our pain at the source so we aren't broken by it later on.
At the end of the day, these aren't just clever quotes to admire. They are a call to action. They're a challenge for us to really look at our words, our character, our relationships, and our faith. And so the real question this ancient wisdom leaves us with isn't just how should we live, but how will you choose to live?